It's a fine day here in Fermanagh, nearly Christmas, and it's absolutely roasting, as you can tell from the gear. I just want to say thanks to Amy and Paul from the Bangor Journal for inviting me to be their featured poet in issue 13. And as I'm a woman outstanding in my field, that's what I am, standing in my field today. And if you see in the background, there's three little, let's see if I can get that, yeah, 3 little houses there. That's the bees, and that's what these poems are about, and I hope you enjoy them. They've given me no end of fun and madness for the last 4 or 5 years. The daughters accused me of being a stalker, as I stand each day with binoculars to examine their legs and the way they carry themselves. I watch for baskets packed with pollen, dandelion yellow, horse chestnut red, orange brown clover, bramble grey. Children need fed, the queens in full lay. When they fly arse down, impatient, barely make it onto the landing board, I know their bellies are filled with nectar. I worry on hot, heady days in May, June and July. They're up to no good when they fly from their hive in clouds. So I get the sheet, the loppers, the box, the ladder, the barrow, for those are not youngsters out to learn their trade. The scouts have returned from the far off hills, told the troops, pack their bags, ready the queen, start their engines. For bees, the far off hills being green is not good. No wilderness of rose bay, willow herb, Himalayan balsam, meadow sweet to feed winged things. The swarm will head for hills yellow with whin, scrambled in bramble, for within that chaos of neglect lies life. Tell you what, there'll be no swarming today. End of December nearly. There's another one, it's on topic at the moment, but it's also relevant to bees in summer. Lockdown for bees. Attempts to explain will fall on deaf ears, for bees want to sail the wind, dive into dew depths of clover, dodge hammer drop rain on their return. They will not be impressed when the beekeeper locks their door to stop them from drinking weed killer sprayed on the grass, until the poison's dried in and of no more harm. The beekeeper must be suited, booted and ready to run when the curfew is lifted, for thousands will charge out from that hive ready to kill the invader who dared block their dance in the sun. And finally, the last one you'll be happy to hear is it's inspired by the Lake Isle of Innisfree, my favourite poem of W.B. Yeats. And I was a student in Sligo a few years ago when I was slightly younger, a good bit younger. And I've always loved W.B., big fan. My father used to send me cassettes of his when I was living in Belfast, and I'd be listening to him going up and down the road to Leitrim. And my daughter, as a child, heard them in the car as well as a baby. So she's a fan of his as well. But there's something about it, the rhythm and the lyric of it. And I've always wanted that dream, you know, the cabin by the lake shore, and the bee loud glade, and the bean rows, and all that goes with that. But the reality, when I moved in and got my own Innisfree, I've realised what a dreamer Yeats really was. And this poem was previously shortlisted in the Northwest Words Poetry Competition with Avivo in 2018, and I want to thank Northwest Words for all their support to me over the years. And I'm sorry that they're disbanded now, but they were great. So, without further ado, Innisfree me Arse, with apologies to WB. Small cabins are not ideal. A king-size bed, an island kitchen, they'll never fit in. Clay and wattles, all well and good, but you're better with the block. Insulate like the Swedes, for the autumn wind whips across that lake, skins ash and beech to cover paths and fill the gutters. Brings with it Canadian geese who come to keep you up all night with their honk-bonk orgy by the shore. Skeletal cats move in, take over chairs and laps, purring and pats, turn into big brutes that drag in prey and lap milk night and day with low sounds by the door. Linnets won't get a look in with the magpies and the crows who sit in trees to goggle box your windows like reality TV as they wait to steal the food you leave for tits. For evenings filled with wings, get an African grey. He'll dive bomb dinner with a caw and a cack. Shout, me arse, throwing scraps to the dog, barking mad. Don't plant the 9-bean rose for steroid-pumped slugs the size of an ink-stained thumb will scoff your hopeful shoots. As for slug traps filled with stout, those louts'll down the lot and slime home on beer bellies, lost in the plot. If you love Game of Thrones, get that hive of honeybees, for summers filled with battles and drones in death throes after mating with the queen. Poor lads, they come as they go. A Bealoud Glade's not the place to live alone, for it's far from cricket song when you're dangling at an angle on a ladder saying prayers as you cut a branch of brown-winged leaves that breaks to a roar, and a swarm of 20,000 bees drop slow into a cardboard box balanced on the head of your only help, a passing 10-year-old. Walkers stroll down your road on their way to the shore. Stand to admire the birds and the bees in your garden's flowering trees. They don't notice the cats giving death stares from below till the little dog barks, "Rip their heads off!" and your grey wolf whistles like a sailor out the door. I hope they feel your peace in their deep heart's core. All the best to everyone, and thanks for listening. And a happy new year if you're listening to this in 2020. All the best.